why we do this is because we want to see how your body responds to intensity. So if we see how your body responds to intensity, we have a better idea how we can train it. So what we're looking at is how aerobic or how anaerobic we are. So what we need to understand is that there are two types of athletes, an endurance athlete and a sprinter or an anaerobic athlete. So anaerobic is all about explosiveness. Endurance is all about working with the aerobic system. So you can think of the two systems as two engines. The aerobic system is a sustainable engine that doesn't produce a lot of power but keeps going. The anaerobic system gives energy in terms of high bursts but tends to fizzle out gradually. So for your sport, first tennis is all about both endurance and not necessarily sprinting, but going at a hard rate. So we need to balance it. We need to make sure that you can hold the high intensity and recover from it so that you can repeat it consistently. So the anaerobic system is, think of it as a race car. You can drive it really fast, but you can't use it the whole day. So the reason why you can't use it the whole day is because you burn a lot of carbohydrates or glycogen, which is very limited in supply. And second is that it produces a lot of acidity in the form of hydrogen. So the hydrogen in your muscles releases acidity and thereby results in things like cramping, burning legs, or headaches. Okay, so whenever you use the anaerobic system, you are limited by these two things. And the aerobic system is more sustainable because you can teach it to burn fat. So if it does burn fat, it preserves carbohydrates. So preserving carbohydrates means that your carbohydrate stores will last longer. You don't need to fuel as much and you're not putting yourself at risk for bulking as much. And second is that it keeps acidity low. So whenever you use the anaerobic system, you actually neutralize acidity, which is the reason why, for example, when you do sprints or you go hard, it actually helps you recover faster if you walk around and versus standing still for some time. So the test will tell us how well balanced your aerobic and anaerobic systems are. So the picture is the anaerobic system, it adds acidity. The funnel is the aerobic system, it flushes out acidity. So the goal is to make sure that the funnel is large enough, because having a large funnel will mean that you get to pour more water, and it will take a higher effort before it will. So the test will tell us your thresholds and from there identify your zones. So zones will tell you how hard you need to train and what intensities, right? And specifically, the test will tell us what types of workouts you need to do. And so based on the results, I will be able to make recommendations in terms of the type of training that you need to be focused on. Again, the reason why we do this is because we want to make sure that we make educated decisions based on data. So that's why you want to learn that. Any questions so far? Alright, so let's talk about your run. So this is your lapping curve. This is a very, very aggressive curve. It means that the aerobic system is not really functioning pretty well. It's pretty much dominated by your anaerobic system. So for us to address this, I would recommend two workouts. One is a long run. So a long run will be dependent on, again, the event will be very important. So we can start maybe with 30 minutes, build it up to 45, and then build it up to 1 hour, slightly more than 1 hour. So the target intensity there will be low zone 2. So that's 6 kilometers per hour on the treadmill or 10 minutes per kilometer in terms of pace. So it's a pretty easy effort, but it's the effort that works your aerobic system the most in terms of extending your endurance. Expect your heart rate at zone 2 to be somewhere between 140 to 150 or 145 to 155 beats per minute, but don't chase heart rate and just observe it. If it's more or less close to our target, if it's far off, then let me know. Okay? But for us to have an accurate heart rate measurement, we need to be very good heart rate monitor or a very easy chest that. So the second workout that you need to be doing are zone 2 intervals, so 3 to 5 sets. Hold it for 10 to 15 minutes. Your goal intensity there will be 7 kilometers per hour or around 8 minutes per kilometer, or 8.5 minutes per kilometer. Okay, so recover for 3 minutes between sets. So 3 to 5 minutes. And you need to be doing this for maybe a couple of months or after 3 months, and then you could ideally you should be running maybe 3 to 4 times. So maybe a couple of these or one or two of these. So start short. You start with 30 minutes. Maybe you could start with only zone 1 to 2 for 30 minutes, 3 times a week. And then once you get the hang of it, start including the intervals. So it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward, but really the goal here is to just get your head down and do it. Because there are no fancy workouts that magically improve your fitness. It's all about consistency, and it's all about gradually building on whatever fitness that you have. So it's all about progressive overload. So for your fueling part, body fat percentage is 20%. VO2 max is low at 33. So again, this is not a surprise, but still a cause for concern. So how do you raise your VO2 max? Just do the zone 2 work, and it's gradually going to keep up. Carbohydrate dependency is pretty good at 68%. And we're going to talk about sodium and water loss later. Now, my recommendation if you're playing for an hour, playing tennis for an hour, is to just fuel with around 100 to 150 calories per hour of carbs. So that's around 25 to 36 grams of carbs per hour, which you can get from a sports drink or even real food. You need to be taking around a liter of water per hour, especially when you're playing really hard, or if it's hot like what it is now. And then for the sodium, you need to be taking around 200 to 300 grams of sodium, which is, you could get like the Nguyen tablets or, what do you call that? Electrolyte tablets, yeah? You just drop it in your drink, which should be good. But you don't need anything more than 300 milligrams per hour. If you go a lot more beyond this, it can actually be detrimental. Okay? And then, again, you want to lose a little bit of weight. So these are my recommendations for your diet. So around 90 grams of fat per day, around 170 grams of protein per day, and your carbs, keep it below 300 for now. So keep it below 300 because you want to lose a little bit of fat and go basically at a deficit temporarily. Okay? Any questions?